And we're live. Hey, all. Hey, everyone. Thanks for being here today. Lovely to see you all. Laura, B Lady, that's a new name. JC Razel, Darlene, Sandy, Christopher, Jim DeBerry, Rachel, Yvonne. Oh, hey guys, thanks for being with us today. It's always a pleasure to have you. And yeah, as always, behind the scenes, we've got Toni Weel with us. So yeah, Toni, thanks for being here today and always. Thanks for all you do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Happy
And
to be here.
yeah. And just for anyone tuning in for the first time, we kind of steer these quick 1 hour shows to just take questions from the community. And fortunately, we've got Toni generously giving her time. And to give a little background on Toni, she's a certified regenerative detox specialist and also certified iridologist, although she has not studied as much into iridology as recently. Um, and so she's mostly studied under Dr. Morse. And if you're not familiar with Dr. Morse's studies, he has been one of the main pioneers in the detox health world, primarily around the fruit diet. So getting back to the simplicity, what our bodies are designed to eat, so that we stop bogging ourselves down with all these toxins and basically inhibiting our own body's ability to regenerate and heal itself. So Toni's taken a lot of his teachings and, I'm sure uh, implemented some of her own learnings along the way to kind of help people find their own healing path and to get back into that that balance, get into that stasis, so that we're not having to focus on health all the time, and we can focus on the bigger spiritual aspects of what we're here to do, which is to learn and grow. But we do have to start with our health, because if we're not, excuse me, if we're not in a good space, then it's really hard to concentrate on all the other stuff. So that's about that's about it for me. Do you have anything to add to that, Toni?
Oh, probably a ton, but I'm not going to. Yeah, when you mentioned that I implement Dr. Morse's teaching, then maybe some of my own experiences, I have to admit that whatever he has been telling us is so true. And I always try to figure out, okay, but what if I do this? Then maybe, and then have to come to the conclusion that what he said all along, he was right. So I gave up on really implementing my own things, but I have become aware of things that are actually quite interesting. And it is how your life changes when you start eating fruit. And you think it's all about the food and getting healthy, but it is so much more than that. And when I start talking about it with my clients, then that is actually when I realized what journey I have been on, and the huge changes that have happened that at first I wasn't even really aware of it. I was just like, oh, hey, this is nice. And it is when you eat all raw and you eat mostly fruit, your fruit is a different frequency, it's a higher frequency. So we are on a different frequency. And I started to see all kinds of things changing. The people that I attract, negative people, it's like they kind of disappeared. They're not in my life anymore. Depression goes away, and it is actually so many things when you start learning about the changes. And it all starts with fruit and the awareness that we realize that when you have fruit, you don't need a ton of supplements or waste your money on that. The fruit and the herbs is enough. It is enough to heal your body. And in the meantime, you heal in other ways, in your relationships and mentally. It's things get more clear. And I'm sure that you have your experience with that too.
Yeah, it's all connected, right? The mind, body, spirit, and that's why it's really important that we do we do heal the body so that we can address all of these other things, but they do kind of play hand in hand. When we do start uncovering and unlocking certain aspects, then like you said, our relationships can heal, and yeah, we're truly unlimited in that regard. But so yeah, it's exciting to walk on this path and to continue finding that.
Yeah, so I think it's important to realize it's not only about getting rid of certain symptoms so that you don't have to take medication. It is so much more than that. It's not, that's why I don't like to talk about, diets. I don't like the word. That is, I mentioned that before. Don't like the word at all. And it is a lifestyle change. It's not, we do this, or we fast for a short time and we go back to what we were doing. It cannot work that way. And you have to be ready for that. You have to realize that is what you're doing, and that your health will come. And it's not done in 2-3 weeks or 2-3 months even. It may take years before you have the health that you want. But I have to say, I'm not there. I'm not where I would like to be, and run around the block or something like that, or go hiking. I'm not there by a long shot, but I have been gotten so much better with my health that it is amazing. And how I feel and how happy I am, and the people that come in my life. I mean, every day I'm so grateful. And it all started with learning about fruits. So eating the fruits. So yeah, this is what I want to share with people. It's the big difference that it makes in how important it is that you get away from the meats and the dairy and eggs and beans and grains and the fermented food, the kombucha of all things. So many things. And there was something that Monique shared with me. She is a wonderful person in the Netherlands, and I work with her. And she mentioned her reaction to meat, that she can actually feel what those animals had been going through being killed, their fear.
Wow.
And it is like, maybe we all can feel that, but we just stop it because we don't want to feel it. We don't want to feel the guilt. We just want to, well, it's available. They have been killed anyway, so might as well eat it. And no, it cannot work like that. So I thought it was very beautiful that she told me that. And I think this is important to realize.
Well, I think it's like definitely with the meat and sort of the energy that's tied to, because however that animal was killed, it's going to have that fear kind of imbued into the substance, and then when we consume that substance, we then take it on. But it's similar to almost everything that we consume, when we're just eating in an unconscious state and eating and not really paying attention to what it does when we put it into our body, then we kind of, get into this pattern to where we don't feel anything. And so we're just constantly in this bogged down state of being. And that's where most people who are on a standard diet that's what they're experiencing. They don't even know why they're experiencing ups and downs or having these health issues or whatever else, but it's this accumulative effect of everything that they're consuming. But once you start to purify your body, and once you start to really get simple with the things that you eat, then you really do become so much more conscious and aware of every little bit that you put into your body. So it becomes this, where you get to step into that space of empowerment where you can truly know, when I eat this is how I feel. And therefore I can choose to continue. Is that a good experience? Is that a bad experience? Is it a neutral experience? But we get to take that, step into the driver's seat and really decide what sort of experience we're going to have on any day.
Yeah, that is very important, that you are aware what food is doing to you. It's the simple thing with cooked food. I mean, if I eat a cooked meal, I am so tired afterwards. And then I hear people complaining about being tired all the time. Of course, it has a lot to do with your adrenals, with your thyroid. You know, they may not work optimal. But on the other hand, if if you know, I find out that it's still being eaten, or cooked meals are still being eaten, that's part of it. And it's a part of not being able to heal your body. And it's, Dr. Morse would say, cooked food is dead food. I mean, others will say, well, it's not that bad. But I know how I feel after a cooked meal, and it's not enjoyable.
Mm. Yeah, there's definitely a more of a weight to it, and yeah, it holds everything down, and that's the whole point of this. That's the whole point of what we're here to do, is to raise ourselves up, is to ascend, continue elevating ourselves. And so if we choose to give in to temptations of the flesh and stay rooted, then we'll just stay down at the lower levels and we won't ever go up. But I'm ready to rise. I'm ready to keep going. So let's do that.
Yeah, it's an interesting journey.
Mhm.
Okay, I got a question here from Jim, and it's about, he said, since I've been on fruit, I have been going to the bathroom at least 3 times a night, and 3 to 4 times during the day, depending on how much fruit and salads I have consumed. The bladder seems to be filling up very quickly and obviously breaking my sleep during the night and feeling tired all day. Is this normal? No, it's not. When you stop drinking, say at 7, 8 o'clock in the evening, and you go to bed like 11 o'clock, then you shouldn't have to go up at all at night. Now, what is possible, since you are a guy, Jim, it is you can have inflammation in the prostate, and check your PSA numbers. So you may not have an enlarged prostate, but your PSA numbers can be off a little. When you have those checked, this is a big warning. Just let me know, and we talk it over, because can I even say this? They will try to get you into doing things that you don't really want to do, to keep it simple. So, and it also means that your body is still too acidic. You didn't mention how long you have been on a fruit diet. I mean, if it's 2-3 weeks, yeah, your body is a little off with most of all that what is it, liquid that you are getting in now. But it would be interesting to know, to find out how much are you drinking, and what your PSA numbers are. So I will send you some information to your email, and we go from there.
Yeah, and one thing I've noticed in my experience is that if I'm consuming salt, the salt will retain a lot of water and from the fruit or water that I'm drinking or whatever during the day. If I'm eating salt and drinking things, it will retain the water, and then at night it seems to release. So I do notice that, or have noticed, when I eat more salt, which is just another reason to let go of the salt. But when I eat more salt, it does cause water retention, which seems to fade in the night, which makes me have to wake up to have to pee up a few times, which is quite annoying. So just one more reason to give that up. So that could be a thing. So that'd be something to ask as well, as, are you having salt?
Absolutely. That is actually, I had not heard that before. That's very good. I'm happy to know that.
Yeah, well, because with me specifically, I get edema and my ankles and feet swell up. And so I know that water just accumulates there. And then when I wake up in the morning, after having peed a few times in the night, my ankles are back to normal size. So I know that it's just like a second bladder that I'm having to empty at night.
Okay, I have another question here, and I think I am already in touch with her. Yes, I am. we already been over this, but maybe it is a good thing to talk about. A lot of women have had or were forced into having a complete hysterectomy when it's never necessary. It can be necessary when you have a lot of endometriosis and it's already growing onto the colon wall. Then, surgery is almost unavoidable. But it's been done so many times, even when somebody only had endometriosis, then everything is taken out, including what was it? The appendix and lymph nodes, and telling the person, yeah, you had cancer, and then no, you didn't have cancer, it was only endometriosis. And I'm like, I'm appalled by the things that happen, but as a woman, you have to deal with that. And again, we found amazing results when you get to the all fruit and the all raw, and definitely not trying to. I see, some people think that tofu will help. Well, tofu is never good, so don't even think about eating it, using it. And the hot flashes, we have actually an herbal formula for that really, really helps. So this was from Lindsay. I already talked to her about this. And yeah, I don't know what else to tell you is about the hot flashes will go away. It will go away when you can be persistent on your fruit, because the body will heal. The kidneys need to filter, the lymph needs to move, and you start on the herbal formulas. So I'm not expecting you can add anything to this, Justin, unless you can.
Yeah, I don't really have anything to add. That was good.
Yeah. And a question from Stephen about teenager skin. As we are all transitioning to a fruit diet, the girl's skin is breaking out a bit, using fresh aloe vera at the moment, but open to suggestions. They are trying so hard to. I congratulate you on starting this journey. This is amazing, especially when you do this as a family. Now, are you aware that we actually all seem to have that? When we start adding more fruit to it and our kidneys are not filtering, our skin breaks out. For me, it was psoriasis, and not sticking to the diet, the psoriasis get worse. If I completely stick to it, it's gone. And it's the same with acne, with eczema, and if the kidneys are not filtering adequately, your skin starts breaking out. It has to come out somewhere, and it will all pass. I know that's easy to say, and you probably want to know what is the best thing to use on it. Aloe vera, fresh aloe vera is great. It dries it out a little. I don't really have any other suggestion. Well, maybe the Heal All tea that we're using. And we also have Dr. Morse calls that the ultimate skin salve. You can put that on anything and everything. I'm using it, and that would help too. But it's a little greasy, so it shows. And especially it's in your face, and you're a girl, you don't want to be seen like that. But when you're at home, yeah, you can use it. I will send you the more information about that, Stephen. Have you had any experience, Justin, with the skin breaking out?
No, I haven't myself, but going through several group juice fasts and people jumping onto this way of being, I have heard of others who have experienced that, and I think people just detox in different ways. So, it's one of those things where we just kind of have to have faith that we're doing the right thing, and we are going to experience some transitional discomfort as we move through this, but it will pass. I would say, I don't know how open your teenager is to trying urine topically, but that might be something that could help. I mean, it's kind of my go-to for anything topically. And and it's so far it seems to have either been neutral or helped with everything that I've tried it on. So that might be something, easy to do. Aside from that, I don't have any additional suggestions. I'd heard that, I thought it was you, Toni, but maybe not, that aloe vera was actually not good for our skin. Like the reason why it seems to work for our skin is because our skin reacts to it as a poison and closes up. So it gives the appearance that it's helping things.
I know, but it is like it closes up and it appears like it's helping, and then it means that it's gone. Is it a poison? If you go in natural hygiene, they will tell you that every herb is a poison. I go with Dr. Morse, he disagrees with that, and I have seen the power of herbs. That they grow exactly in my area what I need, and when I don't need it anymore, something else will grow abundantly then. So it's a different, I don't know what to say about it. I mean, yeah, it has been used a lot, and I'm always there's always a red flag when everybody says, oh, you have to use this, as in well, maybe not. You could use like, I don't even know if you can get that anymore, like sassafras tea. It's a blood purifier. So there are things on the inside that helps, and on the outside it's more like, keep your skin clean. But then we get to the point, okay, what do I use to keep it clean? It's water. I would even use distilled water for that, but we don't always have a choice to do that. But sassafras tea would be one. The Hilal tea that we have would be one. And then you can put on your skin. What I also do, and I actually have a recipe for that, is with people with skin issues. There is a Rosemary Gladstar, and she is a master herbalist, and she brought out a book, and actually her book with recipes is available as a PDF. I think I even have it as a PDF, and I can send it to people. And when I have the psoriasis areas, then I do use her, I even have it sitting here, so I can tell you exactly what it is called. It is Rosemary Glad Stars, that is GLADSTAR, Rosemary Glad Stars famous face cream. And what it has in it is actually grapeseed oil, apricot kernel oil, coconut oil, aloe vera gel, aloe vera juice, lanolin, unprocessed beeswax, essential oils of vanilla, and elemi, I don't know how you pronounce that. And it's a really rich cream, but it keeps the skin nice and soft. So when it's needed, that is my go-to. And but eventually you don't need anything at all, because I remember the days that you wash your face in the morning and it feels like it's so dried out. You have to put something on it. And in my teens and 20s, I was doing that every day until I could use some lotion for maybe 3 months, and then I got highly allergic to it and I had to find another one. And that had been going on since probably I was in my late 30s, 40s, and I stopped using everything. And it went away. I don't need it anymore. I don't have that dry feeling in my skin after it's being washed. So eating healthier makes a big difference.
Yeah, and you could also look at as we get cleaner, sometimes we get a little bit more sensitive to things around us. So you could look at detergents used and make sure that that's sensitive for like your pillow. Make sure the pillow is being washed enough, and any other potential aerosols or whatever else that could be coming in contact with the skin. Once we do get more onto the fruit, we do become a lot more susceptible to outside toxins, or at least they just become a lot more noticeable, instead of a long-term damage from those toxins. It's a short-term exposure so that we can remedy the situation, but just another thought to think of.
Yeah, when you realize that once your body is healthier, that you can handle a lot more things. You know, you don't get affected by yeah, you always get affected by the chemicals because you don't want to breathe them in or anything. But you can just handle more things, as in you don't get sick. And even if you would have a cut, it heals faster. Everything is just easier.
Yes.
So, but I have oh yeah, my next question was about a thyroid. I'm actually amazed by how many people have thyroid problems.
Yes.
When I was diagnosed when I was 18 with a thyroid issue, because I was overweight since my early teens, it was very unusual. It was like in the Netherlands, you barely saw anybody who was overweight. And now it's like we all seem to have thyroid problems, and they put us on a bunch of medications. And I took them for maybe 6-7 months, and that was it. Never took it again. Now, this is from Ambika. And she is taking levothyroxine, and she would love to find an alternative of just stop it. The problem with pharmaceuticals is that it actually weakens the thyroid, and they tell you, oh, you have to take it for the rest of your life. Now that is, of course, that is crazy. It's like when we say to people like, you know, use a certain formula that we have, it is never for the rest of your life. It's at most for a few months. You know, so you can replace it, and I will send you some suggestions until you don't feel cold anymore, but you start feeling nice and warm, and that is how you should feel. And Ambika says that she's becoming a frugivore working on since last November, but break it a lot still. Well, that's the journey we all go through. It is not the easiest thing to do. It's always easy to say, you know, I'll just eat fruit, berries, and melons. I think I hear Dr. Morse say that all the time. And but there's more to it, and doing it slow, it's okay. You get there. I mean, you know what you want to do and where you want to go, and why it is important to you. You want to get off the pharmaceuticals, and so you will get there. And I will too send you some more information to get you going. That was actually the questions I had, unless you sent me some and I didn't see them. Did I miss any?
I'll look back there, but just to touch on the pharmaceuticals, you know, that's like this whole industry, the whole health industry is all designed to push pharmaceuticals. So they train the doctors to push the pills, and then they make the pharmaceutical companies, their only design is to make them addictive and not actually healing, but just masking of the symptoms. So especially things like thyroid, it's so, I mean, really any pharmaceutical medications that they give where their intent is to give it for a lifetime, it's just such an evil thing to do, because there's nothing that our body can't heal. So yeah, I just wanted to comment on that, but I'm looking through and seeing if we got all the questions. I think so. I think that's all that I had. So there was one question in the chat about testing acidity of the body and asking if pH strips for urine or saliva, or what would be the best way to test that scientifically.
It's not really the acidity in the body, because the acidity of your blood is different than the acidity of your lymph system. What you do, and that is easy to do with the pH strip, you check your saliva, which should be slightly alkaline, and you can test your urine, which should be slightly acidic. Not very acidic, slightly acidic. And that gives you the idea how your body is doing when it is really, it is weird when you know you're not healthy and you have symptoms, but your urine is actually alkaline. You know you're not filtering the waste out. And I heard from a person who is very, very healthy, has no symptoms whatsoever, is on whole fruit, barely filters, and has alkaline urine. Well, the only thing that I can think of, the person is just healthy, you know. So that's the only conclusion I can draw from that.
Yeah, some people just have a higher constitution than others, and a little bit easier time. I think we come into this realm with different aspects of ourselves that we're here to work on, and some of us are here to work on more of the physical health body aspect, and some of us are here with an easier time with it, so we don't have as much attention needed for that, but it's all perfect for us.
A question that has been coming up in groups and in emails that I get is like organic versus non-organic. And I read something here that was an article on, what is it called? It's Grape Kate. That's an amazing website that has a ton of information for people. And he writes, it is recognized that organic produce doesn't fall within the budget limit of every individual or family. Also, while organic is preferred, not all produce is as heavily contaminated as certain fruits and vegetables, meaning that less harm is done by purchasing the non-organic varieties of the cleaner produce. And now there are going to be those who cannot afford any organic produce whatsoever. If they aim to maintain a raw food diet, and if that is the case with you, do not panic, for there are a few things you should keep in mind. You are hopefully not longer consuming heavily processed and nutritionally devoid junk foods. You are hopefully no longer consuming dairy. If there is one category of food you should always avoid, dairy products are the one. There goes the cheese. You are working toward achieving filtration of your kidneys, which in turn will enable your body to filter out the chemical residues in time. The astringent and antioxidant properties of various fruits, grapes, lemons, and watermelons in particular, will help counteract the okay, help me with that word.
Physiological.
Thank you. I'll try to repeat. Physiological. See, you have to do it fast. Impact that the chemical contaminants would otherwise have. Fruits and vegetables are going to be your best bet no matter what you do. If you have very weak adrenal glands, which in turn has compromised your autonomic nervous system, you must be careful with chemical contaminants. You may otherwise experience subtle cues of anxiety, jitters, shortness of breath, or other instances of breathing difficulties. And you have very weak adrenal glands when you test your blood pressure, which should be like 120/60. That is ideal. It's lower than what the medical industry tells you. If that top number, that's your adrenals, if that is on the low side, then you have weak adrenals. So it's actually easy to test. And you also feel very tired. So you'll figure out, when your adrenals are taxed. And we have that problem a lot, with all the fear mongering that's going on everywhere and all the stress that we are being put through. So it's a good thing to know. So the story is, don't worry too much about the not being able to buy organic, buy non-organic, and wash it very well.
Yeah, so
you probably have some suggestions about washing too. We use baking soda and we use vinegar.
Yeah, if you want to scrub it by hand, then the baking soda vinegar combo is great. But I find even easier just to get a big tub. Ideally get filtered water in that tub and put, I'd say about you don't need a ton, but maybe a teaspoon per gallon of water, a teaspoon of baking soda per gallon of water, and just mix it in there, and then just put the produce in that tub and just let it soak, and let it soak for, at least 10 minutes, but longer if you feel like it's definitely got pesticide residue on there, and that will help to really get that stuff off. And then if you want to add an extra scrub in there, then yeah, do the vinegar, baking soda, get it all fizzy, and you'll really get it clean. And then on top of that, make sure you're blessing your food. So whatever produce you have, just know that by blessing it, you're setting those intentions, you're connecting with God, and you're saying, hey, I'm doing the best that I can with what I have available. And I'm trusting, and just trusting all that there is, and trusting that you have that power to bring in the power of God to clean that produce for you as well. So setting that intention is really helpful also.
Yes, and knowing that that fruit will do you good, and then it will do you good. It may sound strange, but that's just how the body works.
Mm-hmm.
It will help you. I have a thing about, we still have some time. It's about, do you know what exactly the sweet fruits are, which fall in the category of sweet fruits?
You asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
I know that dates and bananas and probably mamey, which is a fruit here in Mexico. I imagine they're sweet fruits. And let's see, what else would be in there? Mangoes, I think, are sweet fruits, or those subacid.
No, they're subacid actually.
Yeah. So besides that, I'm not.
Well, it is. I'll read them. It's the banana, the date, the fig, the jackfruit, jujube, longan, mamey, mangosteen, papaya, prunes, persimmons, raisins, to name a few.
So why do they
And
say raisins and not grapes?
yeah, it's because it's probably into the sweet fruits once it is dried. Because the date and the figs are only in that category also. So yeah, but they are not necessarily dried. Oh, I had my my first fig from my tree.
Yay. How was it?
Sweet, it was good. I
Good.
gave my husband one, and he was like, "Oh, it tastes sweet." Yeah, it's supposed to taste sweet. I just see that, oh no, that is the peppers. I saw banana under peppers, and I thought, since when is that a pepper? But you have a banana pepper, actually. Yeah. And it falls. Did you know that all these peppers fall under the nightshades?
Yes.
I didn't even know that a chili pepper was a nightshade. I did not know. Now, the acidic fruits are the cranberry, and cranberries are generally not part of the recommended diet protocols. Grapefruit, kiwi, even kiwi.
Interesting.
Kumquat, lemon, lime, orange, pineapple. Did you know that pineapple was an acid fruit?
No.
A pomegranate, a strawberry, and tangelo. Isn't a tangelo a combination of some orange and something else?
I think so. A pomelo, maybe.
Orange and what is that? Tangerine. I think that is what it is. Now, the subacid fruits, and I was surprised to read that, is actually apple, apricot, blackberry, blueberry, cherimoya, cherry, grapes, loquat, lychee, mango, nectarine, peach, pear, plum, and raspberries. And this is where you can combine subacid fruits with sweet fruits, but not with acid fruits. And you can combine, oh no, subacid you can combine with acid fruits, but acid fruits you cannot combine with sweet fruits.
Right. Subacid you can combine with anything, but sweet and acid you do not want to mix.
Oh, that reminds me, I had another question that I overlooked, and it was about greens. And I know I printed it out, so it has to be here.
Yeah, I've got
in my printer. It was still in my printer. From Brigitte. And
that was one.
okay, I'm 67, 40 years vegetarian. When I became vegan 5 years ago, I lost 20 pounds in 1 year. Now weigh 94 pounds, height 165. I know you always say we shouldn't worry about weight. I'm just wondering, all in all, I do not have any health issues. That is awesome.
And she had questions about,
Yeah, do we need the green? For juice fasting, it was suggested a green juice in the morning, herbs, lemon, and ginger. I do not recommend that. I cannot recommend that because I know we have to start with fruit. You always break your fast with fruit, not with any greens. And if you do, herbs, lemon, and ginger, you could say, well, maybe that is a fruit juice. But I would do a fruit juice, and yeah. The question is, do we need the greens? It's depends. Yeah, I know that is a question that doesn't help anybody. You would say at some point when you start building up, you want some greens for the minerals. And it is only the soft leafy greens, and nettle and what do we have? We have nettle, dandelion leaf. We can use a little spinach. I'm sure you have a few more that you can come up with, Justin. Help me out here.
I mean, there's the cilantro and there's the
Yes, of course.
parsley and
kitchen herbs. Yes, absolutely.
All those good things.
But don't start your day with that. Start your day with, I don't know, an apple juice or an orange juice, and do the green juice, your herbs, lemon, and ginger. Ginger, by the way, should be used as a medicine. And I do love ginger in apple juice. I find my apple juice way too sweet, so I do add some ginger. But it's not really recommended. So see how you feel on it. And the other question was, should we take bentonite clay and psyllium husk powder? Do you recommend that as well? I don't recommend it as you wrote it down. I do recommend it when you use it with other herbs. And I think we talked about that before, because we have this combination of the psyllium husk powder, chickweed herb, cascara sagrada bark, plantain leaf. That's an amazing stuff, by the way, plantain leaf, and it grows everywhere. Slippery elm bark, and that is actually to help everything moving along. Marshmallow root, fenugreek seeds, white oak bark, Irish moss, bayberry root, mullein leaf. Then they have the bentonite clay, a little activated charcoal, and a little aloe vera, 100-to-1, cinnamon. It has a little ginger root in it, but for taste, because otherwise nobody's going to get it down. And some acerola, is that how you pronounce it? Acerola cherry powder.
I don't know that one.
And all this all together makes it work much better than when you do only the bentonite clay and the psyllium husk powder, because if you're not well hydrated, you can get constipation, and it just sticks in your GI tract, and you don't want that to happen. Then the next question was about his raw vegan food includes red lentil sprouts, fermented food, 25% fats, hemp seeds, and chia seeds. Question, do we need the fats? What about fermented food or sprouts in Germany, especially in the winter when there's not so much fresh food available? Yeah, I can see, Bridget, why you want to use some sprouts. I would. I see it also. We talked about it last time as having an emergency food, but it would be great in the wintertime. I remember from, growing up in Holland and having, sometimes we had pretty cold winters, that people always felt they had to eat more fat. If you're very healthy, then a little fat, I don't know, 25%, I don't really consider that a little. I think that is quite a lot. A little fat with a few hemp seeds and a little bit of nuts is okay. If you want to get healthy and you need to detox, it's a big no. Red lentil sprouts, yeah, you can do that. I would actually say instead of that, use alfalfa sprouts. That will help you a lot more.
Mm.
And fermented food is just a big no. You don't want to use fermented food. Reason, it's rotten. It's rotten food. You don't want any fermentation in your body, and so no, it is not good. Now I want to share a very, very simple recipe. So either you need to have a very good memory or write it down, and it's actually fun to make with your children, and it's not a detox food. Have 1 cup of, we have the measurements as they are here in the United States. I don't know how much it would be in European. I don't even remember how much it is in the Netherlands. But have 1 cup of hemp seeds, 1 cup of whole hemp seeds, 1 cup of coconut flakes, and then use 12 ounces or a pound of pitted dates. You put that all in the food processor, and you let it run until you see that it's getting sticky. Mm-hmm. Now you stop the food processor, you get it out, and you roll little balls from it, like little, oh, what a comparison. I was going to say like little meatballs. It's like everybody knows how little meatballs look. Mm. I shouldn't compare it with that, but that's about the size, about maybe 1-inch balls. Okay, and you put them in the fridge, and when you feel like you want one, eat 1 or 2 a day. I don't suggest to eat more, but they are an awesome snack.
So good.
When you are not detoxing.
Yeah. Yeah, good ad there. And I would say I even prefer keeping them in the freezer for an even extra cold snack, but they do melt pretty quickly. But they are quite delicious, and you can, if you're doing other nuts, you can exchange the hemp seeds with different kinds of nuts to get a different.
No, you can't, because the hemp seeds have this very, very special taste. So we stick with hemp seeds.
Yeah.
They are, of all things, they're at least healthier than most of the nuts.
Yes.
It's yeah, and maybe I shouldn't even talk about hemp seeds, because do we wonder if it's really a human food? Is it more for the birds? Is it actually meant for us? No, probably not. Probably not. But who says we're perfect? We're not.
Yeah. Seems to do pretty well. I haven't noticed any adverse reactions with hemp seeds.
Oh, I did when I ate 2, and I was like, oh no, my stomach does not like that. So a few days later, I tried 1, and I was like, okay, that works. So it keeps me from eating too much, because they are so delicious.
They are so good.
And absolutely do not forget to take the pits out of the
yes,
out of the dates, because I had happened, one sneaked in, and my food processor almost came apart.
Oh no.
It survived. I was nice to it.
So
anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I had a question from the chat from Spirit Tall that said, "Hi, Justin and Toni. Can you please tell us more on the castor oil for the eyes? How much should it be diluted with distilled water? How long do you leave it in? Thank you."
Well, actually, I have been doing that. I have to do it when my husband is home, because if I try to do that by myself, it's a mess. It is there where I do not want it. But if you can do it yourself, I do 1 drop, because it comes. I use a dropper. And just 1 drop in your eye, and just leave it in. I do it before I go to bed. And you don't have to rinse it, and you don't have to dilute it. But you have to make sure that you get the one, what is it, hexane free. Some even say organic, vaccine free, or whatever, or you can look for one that is specifically for the eyes, as long as they are not any additives. It's just plain castor oil.
Nice. Yeah, I have not used castor oil myself, but I've heard great things about it.
Yeah.
And then Christine C said, so will Dr. Morse ever ship to Europe, or can Toni recommend any companies?
Well, yes, actually, there is a company in the Netherlands, and there's one in the UK that ships all over. Let me see if I can find it. Dr. Herbs in Europe. I can't find the name really quick. I think it is Herbs for Detox, and her URL is herbseurope.weebly.com. That is one. Yeah, I think that is the one that I because that's the only one that I see. So that must be it. And if it is not, I'll find out during the week, and then we have it next week. Because I know Monique in the Netherlands knows exactly about it, because that is where she gets her herbs. Now, I found out that when you are in Germany, it is not that easy to get the herbs. They don't allow them. And there are some Scandinavian countries where they don't allow them in either. And I just found out they're not allowed into South Africa, not allowed into Israel. So that's kind of sad.
Yeah, it is.
You wonder why.
Right. Yeah. Don't like those solutions.
No.
William Reynolds asks about bean sprouts. What are our thoughts on those?
Well, it's the same thing as, is there a big difference with beans or with bean sprouts? You don't want to eat the beans, well, that's high in proteins. If you want to eat like a lot every day, I would say, no, don't do it. I keep going back to the alfalfa sprouts because it has so much nutrition, and it is always, the alfalfa is always advised for your health. So I would go with alfalfa sprouts, but I don't think that any of the sprouts is really bad in the long run. It's just don't make it a daily habit of having to have.
Yeah, nice to add to salads and things. But just look at the name alfalfa, alpha, father. It's a great name.
Yeah, it
Gotta be a good
is.
sign.
And horses do great on it. And so do rabbits.
Nice.
Now they can say, oh, you want us to eat rabbit food. I know they said that at home, when we had salad. Oh, that was rabbit food. Yeah.
So there was one other emailed question. I don't think you got to it, from Sandy, that says, my challenge right now, juicing and whole fruit all day, raw veggie salad at night, is feeling hydrated. Could you speak about what are signs indicating sufficient hydration? I'm not sure how much is enough or too much overload on kidneys. I know the traditional viewpoint is to have clear urine, but I'm not sure that's really a good indicator. I get about 3 quarts of juice and 1 quart of distilled water, and the rest of my hydration from the raw fruits and veg, but I often still feel thirsty and have a dry mouth and dry skin.
Yeah, if you get 1 quart, that is 1 liter. And you get that in juice and the other one in water. It may not be enough. If you're thirsty, then drink more of the juices. It's not the water that really hydrates you. Although I found that when I was on all fruit and all juices, and I did not drink any water, I saw my skin getting dried out, getting a little wrinkly. And you would say, oh yeah, well, at your age, you can expect that. And it's like, no, because it doesn't have to be like that, and it doesn't. So when I'm well hydrated, I don't have that. Skin has no wrinkles. When you feel dehydrated, then you have to drink more. What is too much for the kidneys? Too much for the kidneys will be if you would say you have a 16 ounce, what is it, a big glass of water or juice, and you drink that in 1 gulp, you drink it out all together. That's too much. So you want to keep it to half a glass at one time, or you just sip it. I mean, when I have my, if I do three quarts of juices in a day, it probably takes me an hour to 2 hours to empty one quart. And the water, I have that lemon water with some maple syrup. I also a quart. I use that throughout the day, so it's not I have to drink it all in once. And actually, your oftentimes your kidneys will tell you when you did not have enough or too much. Because my kidneys hurt when I don't have enough, but when I drink too much at one time, I feel it. And dehydration, it is, you get headaches, you get, well, you're thirsty, dry mouth, dry eyes, dry skin. That's when you're dehydrated. So it just means that you need more.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? I got 2 calls at the same time, one online and one on the phone.
And I would just add to that too, just are you consuming salt? And if you're consuming salt, it's gonna completely change how your body addresses hydration. It just and again, I'm speaking from a space of having loved salt my whole life, and I love the flavor. I know how good it is on everything, but it truly wreaks havoc on our bodies. It does nothing good for us, and it only disrupts things. So if that's something that you're still consuming, it might be something that you want to reconsider.
Yeah, and we still get to what we talked about before. If you're consuming cooked meals, it dehydrates too.
Mhm.
So it is trying it out. I think when you get only 2 quarts a day, it's not enough. It's probably not enough. And but if and to anyone, if you want to chat with me about things, you know how to find me. You can send me an email, and we can go into further details, because I know we only share a little of things, but there's always more going on in healing the body. And I'm open to talk with anybody. So, and I have to change my email too, because a lot of the emails tend to get lost. And I have another email, and now I have to look at my own email, what the heck it is. And I think it is, oh yeah, healthywithfruit@gmail.com.
Okay, I'll start including that.
Yeah, so if people can send me an email there, healthywithfruit@gmail.com, I'm pretty sure your email won't get lost in probably a few hundred that I get in a day, that not all are health related. So, and I want to be able to get back to you. And if you didn't hear from me and you emailed me, please email me again and remind me. Sometimes I do need that.
Yeah, I mean, don't take offense if you don't hear back. It goes for Toni or myself. Just do a little reminder, because we get lots of emails and questions and comments from people, and sometimes we just need a little nudge to say, hey.
Yeah, and we're okay with that. You
Yeah,
don't bother
doesn't
us,
bother me.
so never feel bad because you remind us. It's never personal when we didn't respond to you. It's just like sometimes things can get a little overwhelming.
Mhm.
But we get through it, and when it's slow time, then absolutely we'll answer.
Yes, no doubt.
Well,
Okay.
we filled up an hour again, so
Yeah.
I'll be the first one today to say bye.
Yeah.
And I'm very grateful for the people that have been here, and I'm happy to connect with anyone, because it makes my day. I love to talk with people and share and learn about your struggles and how we can change things and make things better. And I'm here for you. So I love you all.
Yeah, I'll just echo that. I'm here for anyone needs to talk. I don't have as much in-depth experience, but I'm learning a lot as I go along. And fortunately, I get exposure to such a wealth of knowledge as Toni has. And so yeah, feel free to reach out. I've got my one-on-one scheduler on my link tree. Always welcome to schedule that. And if those time slots don't work for you, because I only have a limited amount on there, you all can always feel free to reach out, and we can schedule something else. So I'm always available, always open. And yeah, I love you all. Love you, Toni. Thank you for being here, and we will talk to you next time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.